Hey, what's going on, guys? Archer Remark here, and I'm back with another Star Wars figure review. And today I have from the Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch scale from the much anticipated new Force Awakens movie. I have Rey and BB-8. This is the one and only figure that I managed to pick up on Force Friday. I wasn't able to go early in the morning. I had to go a little later in the afternoon after work. And by the time I got there, just everything was gone. As far as the Black Series, the 6-inch Black Series figures were the main focus. There was plenty of other stuff, it's just not the things that I was looking for. But I was glad to at least find this figure. Still on the hunt for some of the others, and I just have a feeling that this character of Rey may be my favorite character from the new movies. I'm not sure. We still got a couple months. Find out then. So, get a closer look at Rey and BB-8. First, let's show you the packaging. Now, of course, Black Series packaging. It's again a little different. Every couple of waves, they seem to go through a slight change. So you see Star Wars: The Black Series. You don't see Force Awakens on the packaging for the Black Series at all, which is interesting. And I like the black and red color scheme. And you go down, you have nice image, black and white image of Rey and BB-8, which I like. It's a bigger image as opposed to the little ones that we were getting. And it just says Rey as seen on the planet Jakku, and BB-8. You get all the age warning, choking hazard, and all that. Hasbro, not much on here. This just all red. It says this is figure number 2, and we got all the various in different languages, all the warnings and all that, and Disney logos, Hasbro logos, stuff like that. You have the little mini bio in various languages. Star Wars: The Black Series, again number 2, and okay, here's a little bio. Rey is a resilient survivor, scavenger, toughened by the lifetime of dealing with cutthroats of the harsh desert world of Jakku. BB-8 is the spherical, loyal astromech droid of Resistance pilot Poe Dameron. So that's interesting. He's Poe's droid, but somehow Rey gets a hold of him. Of course, we don't know how yet. And all these things we'll find out. I really like the look of this figure. I like her outfit. It's very interesting. It's very something that you would think someone would have in a desert planet. It's very kind of earth tones. Kind of like beiges and browns and stuff like that. Very nicely sculpted. Let's see here. All her kind of little dress and kind of half pants there, and I like the strap, her belt with this big patch. It's almost like a satchel, kind of similar to like Chewbacca's satchel a little bit. And I like the sculpting on their hair. She's got the various little braids or whatever this is, which looks cool. Okay. And we get to the facial sculpt. It's not a bad facial sculpt. Again, Hasbro always seems to have trouble with female facial sculpts. They don't get them quite right. One thing, I don't know if you could tell by the camera, but if you look at this figure in person, to me, the paint they used for the skin tone on her face is a little pale. It just something about it looks odd, and the coloring on her cheeks, I don't know if that's just supposed to be natural coloring or blush or whatever, but it just makes it stand out more, and something about it looks odd. But overall, the facial sculpt isn't bad. There's nice sculpting on the hair. There's no extra coloring on the hair. It's just all straight brown, but that's okay. And her outfit, there we go. Again, nicely sculpted. You see all the folds and wrinkles and stuff like that from the clothes. and she looks cool. You can see her holding the one accessory she has is this staff pole thing that, you know, again, not sure what it is exactly. Does it do anything? Is it sort of a weapon, or is it, you know, we don't know. But it's nicely sculpted, and this is where the kind of paint details that we have on this figure went. You got kind of wraps around, and you have the kind of a beigeish brown strap. And she does hold it very well, as you can see. She can hold it in either hand, and you can get the two-handed poses there. So that's really well done. I just want to show you, take it out of her hand, see, and you can see with just the one hand. And just to give you a little closer up look, see there. The one problem I have with this shoulder strap here is a very rigid plastic, and it's not very bendy. So, you know, you can put it over her shoulder, but it's a little tough, and you're, you know, rubbing against the paint on the arm, and I don't know. I didn't want to. I've only done this once or twice since having this, and you're just worried about like paint rubbing off, and it's just, you know, you can do it if you want to pose it like that, but I wish it's, you know, you're struggling. I wish it was a more flexible plastic for that. You know, sometimes they go a little too far. They go, you know, you go too stretchy and it gets all gummy and it just doesn't work. But this is a little too rigid. You know, some sort of medium in between would have been nice. But you can put it on there if you want. Depends on how you want to pose it, you know, how you want to have her displayed. I think it looks cooler having it in her hand with, you know, the double-handed pose like we saw earlier. But that's my one complaint about this. But other than that, I really like the accessory. It's really nicely done. Okay, I'm going to go over her articulation, which isn't the best, just because due to the sculpting of just her outfit, at least in the lower part, and we'll get to that in a second. Head is nice ball joint, so you get left, right. You get the hinge joint here, which she can look up and down, but there's not a lot of movement. You know, you get it down a decent amount. You get it up, you really have to sort of push on it to get it to look up a decent amount. We've seen more fluidity in the head with other figures, so, but not bad. Shoulders, nice ball joints, so you go up and down and forward, backwards. There's no bicep swivel, which is a letdown, and just a single joint on the elbow. You can get rotation there. All the other Black Series figures have had the double hinge joints, so that's a bummer. That's a little letdown there. The wrists, you do have swivels and hinge joints at the wrists, so that's good. So good movement there. You have a waist joint, which it's tight. You have to sort of push it a little. Again, it kind of rub against the outfit, but it is there. So that's not bad. Then we get to the lower part, which is where it kind of falls apart. The leg articulation is very much hindered by the outfit here. So, you know, the joints, they're like ball joints that would allow it to move in and out, but all this restricts it. See, this is all I can get out of the leg. Can barely get the leg forward. Can't really get it back at all. She does have single joint at the knees, so you do have that. You know, you can get that okay. Right here, right above the knee, you can't see the, you know, you can't make out the articulation cut. But right above the knee, you do have a swivel joint, so you can move that. And she does have ankle joints, so forward, back, and you do get an ankle pivot there on it. So the feet are okay, and the knees, it's just the legs, you can't move at all, or really very little. So that is really limited due to the design of the outfit. Again, the outfit is sculpted the way it looks to be in the film, or at least the trailers, the footage we've seen. So it's just the way that it's just the outfit that she has, and unfortunately, that really limits the legs. So that's kind of a letdown. So of the, you have 5 figures in this first wave. The Chewbacca is just a repaint, not interested in him. Of the other 4, this is the figure I wanted the least. I still wanted her because she's a main character. But you see, this figure is a little bit of a letdown. You know, I'm still glad I have her, but due to the articulation restraints, it's kind of a bad point. You know, and again, should have double joints on the elbows, and there should be bicep swivels up here. We've seen it with all the other figures in this scale, so why we're not getting it in the Black Series in these Force Awakens figures, I don't know. So we'll put her off to the side, but the real star is the BB-8 figure, which looks really cool. I mean, he's so small. See, like, you put her next to, and you could barely get him. He's even smaller than R2. R2 like towers over BB-8. So the way this is sculpted and painted, you know, he's like a white and orange, but there's all this like dirty wear, and just looks like he's been rolling around the desert and stuff like that. And they just did a great job of getting all the paint apps right, and weathering and scuffing and things like that. And they just did a great job on this guy. And you can see, I don't know, for those that maybe older fans might remember, there used to be a line of toys called Weebles. You know, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. I don't know, some of you may not know what that means, but you see, you put him down, and you know, he just kind of, you know, rolls around. There's no articulation or anything like that there, because he has no body. He's just a ball. The only articulation is in the head, which I'll see, but that's what he kind of does, and he sort of reminds me of that. But the head is really well done, and you have this whole kind of ball joint like hinge thing, so he can move all the way around and forward and back, and just full range of motion there. So they really did a great job on, and the fact that he was packed in with her kind of balances it out. It sort of makes up for her shortcomings. And you know, again, from what we've seen of the trailers, I'm guessing that he's going to be a big part of the movie. Even though, you know, R2 and 3PO are in the movie as well, but he's clearly been shown a lot in the trailers, and he's going to be a very popular character, I would think, particularly with the kids, or heck, even us big kids. I think we're all gonna fall in love with this character if we haven't already. So this is just really well done, and you can see all the movement that you would think he would have in real life. You know, one thing, I don't know, maybe they could have done, maybe they made the bottom like a ball bearing or something, so he had some sort of like some way of like rolling around. I don't know, but just the way they did him like this, I feel is really well done. So this is really cool. We'll just move the camera down so we can get him in frame, because he's so small. Overall, it's certainly still, despite its shortcomings, it's still a good figure to pick up. Maybe not as much as the other figures, but again, the BB-8 really makes up for her shortcomings. But that's up to you. But I feel that this is kind of a must-have figure, because it's a main character, and you really want to have those. You know, we have Finn and Kylo Ren and this character, and I think Poe Dameron is supposed to be coming in the next wave. So I really feel like you want to get those 3 or 4 like real main characters. So I feel you really need to pick this up. I would still recommend her, despite the shortcomings, because you need her. You know, it's just, I feel it's really important to get her. Hopefully, you know, in the weeks to come, stores will restock and people will be able to find these figures it'll be a little easier and you won't have to pay the huge crazy prices. So that's my review of Ray and BB-8. Hope you enjoyed this video. Rate, comment, subscribe, and until my next vid, remember, the Force will be with you always.